hatred, who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. There's no hiding place from the kingdom's goal.
There's a train coming, don't need no baggage, just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket, just thank the Lord.
Beloved community, welcome to our event, Freedom 63 Remixed, Legacies of the March on Washington. My name is Kazembe Balagun, Project Manager, United Nations in North America. As a native Harlemite, it is an honor and a blessing to share this time with you in one of the most respected cultural institutions in the world, the Scharenberg Center for Research in Black Culture. Before we get into some housekeeping, I just want to put out a few shout-outs. This is a really critical time right now, of the challenges of this particular summer with the blowbacks against the civil rights movement and the continued situation with police brutality. But something we have on our side is that we have history, right? And no movement can move forward without looking backwards. And we live in this really critical moment right now where we can actually talk to people who are actually there on the ground and learn those lessons. And for that, that's a tremendous honor and a tremendous gift. So with that, are there any people who were at the March on Washington 63 in the audience right here? Please stand up. Please stand up. This is about a movement, not just a moment. It's about continuity in the ways in which we deal with the feedback of history. And that's why it's called a Remixed. We have a significant program tonight. We will hear from Mr. Dick Gregory, followed by some wonderful dialogues of movement veterans and younger artists and activists. And in thinking about this evening and to close out, I would like to say, I was struck by this quote by Paulo Freire in the design of this program. Some may think that to affirm dialogue, the encounter of women and men in the world in order to transform the world is naively and subjectively idealistic. There is nothing, however, more real and concrete than people in the world and with the world, than humans with other humans. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're building the bridges of community, crossing the boundaries of race and age, and we are creating a new world in the shell of the old.
Welcome you to tonight's event, Freedom 63 Remixed. Today, we want to celebrate the historic movement that changed America. The courageous activists, a few of them are actually here, finished the Second American Revolution. You're right, the revolution, that one that started with the Civil War. The civil rights movement was tremendously successful. So successful, in fact, that today even the racists won't admit anymore that they are racist. But make no mistake, some of them today deny that the Civil War had anything even remotely to do with slavery. But be assured that we are not letting get them away with it. That's for sure. All right. The civil rights movement inspired a generation, in fact, not only in the United States, but in the whole world. But we do not only want to look back, as Kazembe already pointed out, we also want to look ahead. This evening is dedicated to the constant effort of keeping the political legacy of the civil rights movement alive. The real legacy, not the one that's being watered down by the powers that be. Fact is, poverty in this country is rampant. And neoliberalism has turned the war on poverty into a war on the poor. Fact is, social inequality has never been greater in this country. The country is actually moving away from the movement's political legacy. But as Martin Luther King said, a true revolution of values will soon look uneasily on the glaring contrast of poverty and wealth. And fact is, a white man can still be convicted of shooting an unarmed black youth without being punished. So who among us actually believes that everything is just fine these days? Back in the days, the civil rights movement struggled for freedom and equality. And today, we still need to fight for freedom and equality. For we have not yet been to the mountaintop, and we'll only get any closer if we learn again how to fight back.
So to start us off with a few words, before we get into our dialogues, I would like to give the stage to Mr. Dick Gregory.
Let me first say, let me apologize to you white folks. See, I've been convinced that all white folks believe that all black folks look alike. I believe that, I ain't gonna lie. And so I'm apologizing to you white folks for believing that. Now I know it's not true. When President Obama was elected, the first black president, I haven't had no white folks walk up to me and say, "Excuse me, Mr. President." So I know we don't look alike. You white folk, let me tell you something. You white folk got to be the luckiest people on the planet. The luckiest people on the planet. When we finally get a black president, I just can't believe you white folk, we get a behaved one. We get one that don't say honky. Can't believe how lucky you are. Been to the best schools in the world. You can't deny that because it's your schools. He don't talk loud. I said, I ran for president in 1968. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you white folk better be damn glad I didn't win. After I got sworn in, I wouldn't be worrying about no damn economy. I'd get me about 5,000 tanks and come to New York and stand on the corner and I'd dare cab to pass me by. When I get through, cab drivers be running out the cab on the corner trying to put you in. Come on, I got a free ride for you. Come on. And then after that, settle that. Then I'd go back to Washington, D.C., and dig up that rose garden and plant me a watermelon patch. And see, most white folks don't know how embarrassed you black folks are about watermelon. You wouldn't come by my White House at a state dinner. All we'd have is watermelon. And like the Queen and them, they have afternoon tea. I'd sit out on the balcony and have afternoon watermelon and spit the seeds down on Pennsylvania Avenue. But he's a nice behaved. That white woman, that governor, she shook her hand in his face, and he walked by like he didn't even see it. I'd have ate her hand off. And get your left one ready, I'm gonna eat that too, huh? My president. Somewhere. And people debating, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. I have 10 children, 12 grandchildren, and 1 great-grand. Been married 54 years. Oh, wait, ho. I didn't say I was happy. And thank God for that civil rights movement that is not as bad as it used to be. "50 years ago, right before King was making that speech, we was worried about being physically attacked. We can get physically attacked now, but we surprised. We look at that mess down in Florida, Trayvon. We black folks was hoping it would have changed. We watched it and wasn't surprised. We were hurt, but not surprised. The one good thing about that trial is the first time white folks got to see a whole trial. And so what we've been trying to explain to white Americans, they got to see it. And they are ashamed. Now that creates a hell of a problem. I'm in pain. I walk down the drugstore and get me a legal pill and stop my pain. There is nothing that can stop your shame. A group of people that shame, it tears up your whole spirit. And if we don't do something quick to change that, this country will be leveled to the ground. Now, a lot of you don't understand what I'm saying. Go and look up what shame do to the human spirit. We can tell you, because we come over with some stupid consciousness to be ashamed that somebody stole me. That means it's 36 states in America that have stand your ground, including Washington, D.C. Oh, we know about Alabama. But Arizona, Alaska, California, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Massachusetts. Stand your ground. They even lied to you about that. And white folks ain't invented it. We invented stand your ground in the 60s, we had no guns. We had no cops on our side, and we didn't move. That's stand your ground. Huh? That's stand your ground. Brother Maddox stood his ground and taught all of us how to stand your ground. Somewhere. So I come here tonight and say thanks as we approach the 50th anniversary of I Got a Dream speech. And 50 years from now, it depends on what you do. We've already proved that the cops and the federal government can't hold nothing back if you're willing to stand your ground. And understand fear and God do not occupy the same space. Fear. I got an old stupid brother in St. Louis. That nigga scared of the economy, and he ain't never had no money. He look at the stock market every day and don't even know where it is. Fear. Called me the other day, they about to repossess my car. What must I do? Don't park in front of the house.
Believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
Not needing to clutch for power, no needing to have the light shine on me. I just wanna